Previously on The Devil on G-string. That diary is like a part of your skin. Is there some specific reason you carry it around all day?
メモメモ。
Listen to me.
朝7時に浅井くんの家にやってきました。浅井くんの家はとてもリッチなのでした。今日は天気が良くて丸です。
We better hurry to school. I think I like this girl.
俺が可愛いだと？ざけやがって。
Dude, what the hell? You were laughing with her, weren't you?
ああ、マジムカつくぜ。俺があと2年若かったらマウント取ってるところだ。
Whoa, kid. She's our friend, right? If you gotta think about screwing her, at least think about doing it gently.
ダチでもえでも関係ねえよ。俺マジすげえよ。切れたら見境ナッシングだぜ。
Well, okay. Whatever you say, son.
カノンちゃん久しぶり。カナダはどうだった？
Did you bring home any syrup?
カナダ？カナダっていう感じだったな。
Perfect response. I pointed at that person without thinking.
髪がすごい長いね。
More like it's very thick. She's staring at us. Say hi, guys! Well, I guess you could say we're staring at her too, but she's been staring at us for a while now. To be more precise, she's been staring at me.
誰かな？私見たことないよ。
Feeling awkward, Tsubaki tried to ask again.
名前を
言わなきゃダメっすか？
Well, yes. That is how class introductions are done. You introduce yourself to everyone.
なんて呼べばいいかわからないじゃない？
そうっすね。
She keeps sighing.
ビンラディンです。
I like you already.
ごめんね、詮索してるみたいで。でも、ずっと同じクラスなのに、浅井くんのことをよく知らないから。
If you're always in the same class, then why would you wait until now to approach me? The Azai Corporation is a Yakuza group, with diffuse connections throughout both the underworld and the police force. It's also a major member of the Sowa Alliance. My father, Azai Gonzo, is one of the leaders of the pack. The only thing I learned up until now is that money is everything. Everyone lives for money. Their lives revolve around money. Age, sex, occupation. None of these matter when compared alongside one's accumulated wealth. Everyone fears and respects me. But I won't stop here. I want more power. At the moment, it's just the Azai Corporation. But someday, I'll take over all of Sowa. Then I'll have the power to affect society as a whole. Politicians, CEOs of multinational corporations, they'll all bow before me. What I want is the position of the puppet master in the shadows. And so it continues. Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play on The Devil on G-string. So, it's a brand new day. I'm quite curious to see what our friends from school will have in store for us, so let's get right to it, shall we? The icy winter blew away all of my drowsiness. Once again, I go to school. I don't have to think at school, so it's fun.
兄さん
And this school is really not doing its job then, son. Eh? Hello. Kanan suddenly burst out from behind the wall of the apartment.
兄さん、もうお前、ほんとこんちくしょう。
Oh, why am I terrible? What did I do? Ow! She put a death grip on both of my arms. What? What on earth are you doing so early in the morning?
なんだよってこっちがなんだよだよ。
Going to school? She started pouting unhappily.
兄さんにはほんと参っちゃうぞ。
What? Get something resembling an education? Okay, I got it. Can you just let go now?
何がわかったんだよ。
What? Her eyes seem to be searching for something. Sorry, I'm clueless.
約束したでしょ。
If it's the dinner date, I mean, I went, didn't I? Promised.
やっぱり忘れてるんだ。私が練習してるからスケートリンクに来てねって言ったじゃない。
Oh yeah, there was also that too, wasn't there? Now that she mentions it, I guess I did say something to that effect. Oh, about that. I'm sorry. Really. Better come up with a good excuse.
どうしてくれる？どうしてくれる？
Maybe get you a tub of ice cream? Well, I'm really sorry. I lost my wallet yesterday and spent all that time looking for it.
どこで？
At a music shop? Central Boulevard.
何しにセントラル街行ってたの？
I was with Tsubaki.
バッキーと？なんで？
Baki is what she calls Tsubaki. You don't have to perform a thorough interrogation. We were just hanging out. Kanan's mood seemed to be worsening with each passing second.
それにしたって電話一本くらい入れてくれてもいいでしょ？
You didn't even do that much, man? I'm really, really sorry. Again, the font change when italicization commences is really distracting.
頭撫でてくれたら許してあげる。
Oh, that's it? I thought I'd have to just go attend like 2 practice sessions in a row. Alright. No matter what, she'll be happy if she's being petted. In an instant, her surly mood dissipated.
よしよし、許してあげる。許してあげる。
What do you mean, good boy? You're the one being pet like somebody's pet right now, so good girl for cheering up. The person being pat on the head is saying good boy. I know! She doesn't seem aware of the situation here.
今日こそは練習見に来てくれるんだよね。
Well, if I can control this man's legs here to go there, then yeah, I guess. I know. I'll definitely be there. Okay. He promised, so I'll make sure he holds up his end of the bargain. I better remember to do so this time. Write yourself a note.
よし、じゃあ一緒に学校行こうね。
Kanan stuck to my side naturally. Hey, don't latch onto my arm. As the weather was slowly getting colder, the Jiugasaki students were wearing warm winter jackets.
先生聞いてよ。それでね。
After we finally arrived at the school gates, we were greeted by the same scene as yesterday.
僕、スポーツも得意なんだ。
I'll believe it when I see it. Once again, Ichi is unleashing an attack of love upon our unfortunate Miss Noriko. And for the record, I'm pretty sure he sucks at sports. Not surprised. Christ, Ichi. You can't just fling out a transparent lie like that.
特にサーフィンかな。
Oh, you know what? I'll buy you a surfboard. I want to see you catch a really big wave and ride that thing like a boss. I mean, it's okay if you mess it up. I mean, hey, YOLO, right? You can't surf at all. What's he going to do? Practice until summer?
こういうのを予定嘘って言うんだよ。
嘘も真実にすれば嘘にならないっつーの。
That's not how it works, son. Quite the cunning ploy.
嘘だ
I know, Kanan. He doesn't really seem to get how this stuff works. Go tell him right to his face. I'm curious to see if the mask will slip. Kanan suddenly started shouting, or you could just shout.
どうしたの、アザイさん。
Kanan's pretty famous at school. Everyone knows her, including the teachers. Well, of a personality like hers, I'm not surprised. But let's save that story for later. At the moment, Eiichi's face is beginning to convulse. Oh, I wish I could see it.
のんちゃん知ってるよ
The convulsions.
A ちゃん泳げないじゃない何言ってるんだよ
このアマ、余計なことを。
Because clearly, like me, she seems to get enjoyment out of seeing your plans gets royally screwed up.
だって今年みんなで海行ったよねその時 A ちゃん溺れちゃってガボガボ言ってたよ
And again, maybe she's not that devious, and everything we see on the surface is exactly what we get. I guess that's also a possibility.
泳げねえってのに、おめえが面白いからドーンとかいうノリで俺を海に突き飛ばしたんだろうが。栄一くん、何ブツブツ言ってるのかしら。なんでもないよ、
どう見ても何かある顔してるぞ
Yeah, she's got a cunning side to her, for sure. That face tells me everything. Kanan displayed a teasing smile.
嫌だな、かのんちゃん。あれから泳げるように特訓したんだよ。
本当かなどこのプールで特訓したのかな
Well, if you're smart, you would try to convince your teacher to go away somewhere with you. Right this second. The longer you stay here, the worse you're gonna be off you're gonna be. Well, he's lying, so there's no way he'd be able to answer. Wonder how Eiichi is going to escape this dilemma.
僕日直だから先に行くね
There you go. You're using that noggin. Come on now. Run isn't going to fix the problem. Yeah, well, unfortunately for him, this is a problem that couldn't really be fixed.
エイちゃん今日日直じゃないでしょ待て
And so the demon chased the clown. You're calling Kanan the demon? I think you got their roles reversed. Despite the bitter cold, school is still peaceful. Eiichi arrived at the classroom of Kanan right on his tail. Perhaps it's because he sprinted the entire way, but Eiichi can't even stand up straight anymore. Well, maybe if you got into better shape, it could spur on something inside you that would encourage you to improve yourself in other areas besides the physical. Like your actual personality, perhaps? So, keep going after him, Kanan.
兄さん兄さん
I said go after him, not me. On the other hand, Kanan didn't even break a sweat.
のんちゃん授業が始まるまで寝るね
Oh? Are you tired because of the morning practice?
昨日ねパパリンと夜遅くまでお話ししてたから
With Gonzu? Did Papa say anything?
頑張ってオリンピック行けってパパとっても優しかったよ
Yeah. My worries seem to be piling up into quite the mountain, but I won't think about it much at school. Hey, I just noticed it, but what's in the bag? Kanan was carrying a duffel bag in addition to her backpack.
体操着が入ってるんだよ
Alright, we had PE today. Isn't that a designer brand?
兄さんが買ってくれたんじゃない
Was I? Oh yeah, I was. He was.
じゃのんちゃん寝る
She passed out as soon as she got to her seat. It was almost like something out of a comedy manga.
おい、京介。
Did you guys hear something? I thought I heard a gnat fly by my ear. Yep, there it is. There's the gnat. Eiji called out to me the moment Kanan was down.
今の俺の気持ち、わかるだろ
I think it's trying to communicate its feelings to me. Say what now?
あのアマ、カノンはよ。つうの、おめえの妹だから今まで多めに見てきた感はあるんだよ。寛大な俺ちゃんはよ。
I think the gnat is trying to get a leg up on me on some form of morality, but I'm not understanding its buzzing all that well. Listen, man.
でもマジ限界っつうか、あんま調子こいて俺の狩りを邪魔されっとリアルにトサカに来るっつうか。
No, I'd say the problem here is the methods you employ in your hunting. Like you're one to talk.
うるせえ、今日は部活だからな。
Huh? Club activities. I'm afraid the only club I belong to is the Going Home Club.
てめえ、何寝言こいてんだよ。秘密教室作っただろうが、誓い立てただろうが、俺とお前で宇宙征服するんだろうが。
Secret society, huh? So you're basically in on our friends' money laundering activities and such? I have a feeling I did do something like that.
忘れたとは言わさねえぞ。
Well, this guy's proven one thing to me so far is that his memory is even more unreliable than my own at its worst. So, yeah, he probably did. Don't worry, I remember. The lab equipment storage room, right? Upon hearing that, Eiichi's mouth curved into a mischievous smile.
あ、放課後な。
You look like an old man with that facial expression. Eiichi walked out of the classroom. I looked around at my fellow classmates. It seems Shiratori is absent today. Homeroom is about to begin.
間に合った。
Good morning, class rep. How rare. You were almost late. Tsubaki smiled shyly upon hearing my greeting.
夜更かししてたら寝坊しちゃってね。
You were writing your diary all night, weren't you?
なんでわかるの？
Well, let's just say that you're very easy to read. It was an easy guess.
昨日は浅井くんと遊んだからたくさん書きたくなっちゃったんだよ。
Are we going to be hanging out again today?
あ、覚えててくれたんだ。
Of course. But the thing is, someone just came up, and Eiichi and I are going to have to take care of some business on campus. So would you mind meeting up somewhere instead of waiting for me?
いいよ。昨日行った喫茶店で待ち合わせしよう。
If anything happens, just call me. You still have my cell number, right?
バッチリ。
Tsubaki flashed me a brilliant smile.
それにしても、今日も白鳥さんお休みみたいだね。
Yeah, did you hear anything about it? Tsubaki shook her head apologetically.
宇佐美さんも来てないし。
Usami Haru, huh? She transferred here only yesterday.
宇佐美さんにも電話番号聞こうっと。今日から友達になってくれるって言ってたし。
So she did. Don't you think it's kind of weird to say something like, let's be friends starting tomorrow?
そんなことないよ。宇佐美さんきっと恥ずかしがり屋さんなんだよ。
Shy is not exactly the impression I get from her personally. I've been thinking about this for a while now, but your kindness is really intimidating. You know that?
Eh?
And so is your forgetfulness. Makes me quiver in my boots. Nothing. Class is about to start. We return to our seats. And so, even though lunch break arrived, Usami was still nowhere to be found. Miki-chan, I really want to thank you for the other day. I was on the phone.
エイちゃん、嘘は良くないぞ。
だから嘘じゃないってば。もう勘弁してよ。
Eiichi looked like he was going to cry while he stuffed his face with pudding. I wouldn't mind seeing him cry a little.
お菓子ばっかり食べてるから性格が曲がっていくんだぞ。
You would think it'd be the other way around if you ate sweets all the time, that your personality would match with the sugar intake.
毎日違うお菓子食べてるからいいの。
There's still a sizable sugar intake, so that doesn't really help.
そんなのわけわかんないよ。
いいの、僕のポリシーなの。昨日はチョコで今日はプリンなの。
Well, come to think of it, he does actually eat something different every day.
今日もいいお天気です。みんな仲良しでグッドです。まる。
Everyone's passing a time in their own way, as usual.
じゃあ今度の日曜日に温水プール行こうよ。
今度の日曜日はペットの餌を買いに行くからダメ。
Again, if you actually own pets, I feel bad for them, because they're owned by you.
カノンちゃん、メイチ君を信じてあげなよ。って、あれ？
What is it? Tsubaki's eyes widened.
あれ、宇佐美さんじゃない？
There is Usami bin Laden. How you doing?
あ、本当だ。
Where were you during the homeroom? Being tardy is not exactly good for academic standing, you know. As if seeing a lighthouse in a storm, Eiichi sprinted over.
あの髪型からして間違いないよ。
おーい、宇佐美ーん。
Kanan gave her a nickname, just like that. It seems Usami finally noticed us. I had just finished my phone call. Pretending to be a playboy is hard work.
宇佐美、こっち来なよ。
Everyone was waving at her. Maybe if we stick some marshmallows in front of her, she'd be more inclined to come and investigate. Usami cautiously approached us. Her monstrous head of hair billowed, completely ignorant to the laws of physics. What's monstrous about that head of hers? It's just curly. You all are just too harsh.
ああ、どうも。
宇佐美、いつ来たの？
さっきっす。基本朝とか脆弱なんで。
Well, you do look like you do, to be fair.
どうして屋上にいるの？はあ？いや、はじゃなくて、昨日もここで会ったよね。いや、深い意味はないですけど、高いところとか好きなんで。
Tsubaki walked straight toward her.
宇佐美さん、宇佐美さん。
え？
今日からお友達だよね。
Tsubaki looked extremely happy.
誰っすか？
Well, hey there, Mr. Playboy. Looks like our new friend has something in common with you. She's forgetful of other people. Critical hit.
ってあ、すいません、思い出した。
思い出してくれた？
うん。
Wait a minute. I see a smile on her, and it's quite cute. She stuck her chin up in the air.
私は宇佐美春だ。お前の名は？
How did you fix your hair so fast?
なんかすごい凛々しい。
椿です。
よし、椿か。覚えたぞ。
あ、のんちゃんも。私カノン。
いいだろう。カノンだな。あ、僕エイチ。あ、いや、一日二人が限界なんで。そ
ょっと。
椿、カノン、いいか？私のことは勇者と呼べ。
So, would Hero Bin Laden be a good compromise?
不満か？
不満じゃなくて。なんで？
理由は特にない。だが、今まで私の仲間になった人間には必ずそう呼ばせている。
Come to think of it, you made a similar request in the last episode, didn't you? So, you see yourself as a hero?
なんかよくわかんないけど、いいよ。私もいいよ。それで友達になれるんなら。
Well, then again, thinking back to that opening cinematic thing, if you want to call it that, I guess I already know the answer to that question.
勇者さん。
Why is this scene so bizarre? Because every one of you is bizarre. Bizarre people create bizarre scenes. Simple math, son. She seems like she's really enjoying this.
私は今とても気分がいい。よってお前たちにも役職を与えよう。
Excuse? Jobs?
椿、お前は僧侶だ。
僧侶？何をする人なの？
癒し系だ。
癒し系？バッキーにぴったりだよ。ねえ、のんちゃんは？
お前は戦士だ。
おー、戦士強いぞ。僕魔法使いがいい。
I think a thief would be a more fitting occupation for you personally.
エテ吉さんはスライムとかがいいんじゃないですかね。
Even better.
ちょっと仲間に入れてよ。
いや、なんかエテ吉さんってゲルっぽいじゃないですか。
Well, you certainly are one, so you don't need to remind us.
兄さんは？
Me?
宇佐美さん、彼は浅井くんって言うんだよ。
Sabagi went to the trouble of introducing me.
そうだな。
She checked me out from head to toe. I'm sure you might find him to be a remarkably average-looking man. What? As if she just discovered something shocking, Usami's face suddenly tensed up.
まさか。
どうしたの？
See someone you recognize, I assume? I don't know why else you would say surely. Can't read her face. There's a strange expression, or rather, she's expressionless. It's as if she's thinking about something and having no thoughts at all at the same time.
ねえ、兄さんは何かな？やっぱり遊び人かな？
Well, you certainly are one.
いや。
As Usami parted her lips, the bell that signaled the end of lunch rang. I have no idea what's going on, but it's nice to meet you. I extended my hand, hoping for a mutual response. What's wrong? Did we meet in a previous life?
一ついいか。
Usami put on a strange expression.
浅井はただの学園生じゃないな。
What was your first clue? Are you a fortune teller? I'm just an average run-of-the-mill student that can be found anywhere. She's a strange one.
今時の学生が友達になろうという時に握手なんて照れくさいことをするか？
A formal one? Now that she mentions it, I suppose that's true. What kind of girl in this age would have others call her a hero for no reason? The habits from my job subconsciously surfaced.
それはそうっすね。
Well, I'm glad we got at least a mutual understanding on that front. Let's use this and build a bridge with it. The corner of her lips tugged into a grin. What about this is amusing exactly? We should hurry back. We got PE.
そうだった。急がなきゃ。かのんちゃん、体動かすの大好きだもんね。今日はバレーボールだ。宇佐美さん、行こう。
Kanan pranced off of her usual excess of energy. Aren't you coming, Usami? She silently stared at me. Not a fan of volleyball? I'd better ignore her. I don't think we should. Call it a gut feeling. See you down there, then. Well, I left the roof in a hurry. I don't know why, but I could feel her lingering gaze on my back, all the way back to the classroom. Break time. I was called to the faculty office. While I'm at school, I try to avoid attracting attention or provoking the judgment of my peers. Of course, that involves a bit of effort outside everyone's line of sight. But due to my frequent skipping, I'm occasionally called out by the teacher. I didn't bother putting effort into the pop quiz yesterday, so now my math teacher's out for blood. He's got that passion for education thing going on. Finally, a teacher who gives a shit.
おい、Azai。先生はな、お前はもっとできるんじゃないかと思ってるんだ。
No, I tried pretty hard. Tried hard for you, I'm sure.
昨日のテストにしてもそうだ。お前、わざと答えを間違えてないか？
Of course not.
まあいい。ちょっとこの問題解いてみろ。
There was a worksheet laying on the teacher's messy desk. Which one? They all look pretty neat to me. He tapped his finger over the logistic curve on the paper. What? Right now?
早くしろ。補習だと思え。
Looks like neglecting the quiz was a bad call. Alright, I'll do it. I held the pencil and gazed at the questions. This here goes like this.
Azai なら簡単だろ？
The teacher was staring at me like a hawk, observing my every move. Don't stare at me like... Huh!
なんだ？
The lead snapped. Well, just look. The desk is a little bumpy, don't you think? If one were to look closely, one would notice the many small holes on the desk, along with countless scratches.
教師の机ってのは使い込むもんなんだよ。
Oh, come on, it's just a desk. Trying to write on this thing messes up the characters. And look right here, it's even made me tear a hole in the paper.
ぐちぐち言ってないで、とっととやれ。
Okay, then it's totally not going to be my fault if whatever characters I end up writing end up looking incomprehensible to the human eye. Huh. Break time's over. Even then, the math teacher wouldn't let me go. Persistent. I like that. Then again, it wasn't all that bad. Compared to my job, school's heaven. Heaven to a slothy person like you. After school was over, I crept over to the lab equipment storage room. It's usually locked. But a teacher let me borrow the key once, and I secretly made a duplicate. This is Aichi's in my territory. Let the secret club activities begin. Aichi was in the hall, waiting for permission to enter the room. Bees.
解雇されること。
Babies.
胸部中央に歯を唱えた突起。
Rabies.
とても怖い。
Yes, rabies can be very scary. Wannabes.
イエーイ。
And thus the password check was complete. Very well. You may enter.
神、お久しぶりでございます。
What are you wearing? Looks like a Klansman hood. Yes, it's been half a year.
いやー、1ヶ月ぶりくらいです。神は本当に忘れっぽいですね。
How rude. My time is infinite, and therefore my concept of time isn't as specific as yours. Got a point there.
申し訳ございません、神。
Eiichi knelt in front of me.
っていうか、神、相変わらずダサい被り物してますね。
Silence, mortal. You're the one that made me wear this in the first place.
そうでしたっけ？
Of course, it would have been your idea originally. If you feign ignorance, God will become wrathful.
申し訳ございません。たびたび助けていただいたご恩は一生忘れません。
Yes, the fact that you can enjoy this existence is all thanks to me.
はい、のりこ先生の電話番号を教えてくれたのも神でした。
Of course you did. Yes.
のりこ先生がお酒好きというネタを教えてくれたのも神でした。
And you know this how? I'm glad you understand.
でも未だにのりこ先生と年頃な関係になれないんですが。
That's your problem.
まあいいです。では早速、今回のお願いなんですが。
Denied. Sure, let's hear it. There's nothing I can't do. Eiichi lowered his head.
気に入らない人間がいるのです。
Good girl. How tragic. It is simply human nature that one cannot avoid hating another. Well, unless you strive for nurture, like some other humans do.
そいつはあろうことか人の恋路を土足で踏み荒らしやがったのです。
Those dirty feet can perform all kinds of graceful maneuvers over ice, I'm sure. You show those feet of hers some respect. Oh. That's truly unforgivable.
どうか神、そいつに神の裁きを、復讐の鉄槌を。
No problem. What's her name?
カノンです。
Who?
アザイカノンです。
Hey, wait a minute.
どうしたんですか神。あなたは今まで数々の悪の手口を僕に教えてくれたじゃないですか。
Yeah, but this is completely different.
バレずに女子トイレを覗き見する方法とか、バレずに早弁する方法とか、こっそり職員室に忍び込む方法とか。
You really are a pair of scoundrels. You hold it right there.
僕はもういい加減頭にきたんですよ。あいつが邪魔をしなければ、とっくにのりこは僕のものになってるはずなんです。
Oh, come on, you're projecting here. Besides, Kanan is my...
神は神でしょ？唯一神でしょ？妹とかいるわけないでしょ。
God can very much have a sister if God so pleases, because God is God. I know that doesn't exactly logically make sense at the face of it, but when you are an all-powerful deity that could basically manipulate coincidence itself, well, there's not much more beyond your reach now as far as power is concerned, is there? So just roll with it, boy. Looks like he's going to get his revenge one way or the other. Not unless God has anything to say about it! Cool down. Kanan may be a spoiled brat, but she's not a bad person. Don't, me? Don't, me either. What are you, an infant? Sure acts like one.
お前に可愛いキャラでぶりっこしても無駄だったな。
Why would you even bother? I'd already know what you're really like.
どうしてもダメですか？
No.
もういいよ、チキシャー。
Alright, meeting adjourned. God has better things to do. And so you have been forsaken by God himself. If that doesn't encourage you to reflect upon your life's decisions up until now, I don't know what will. After putting the cone hat on the rack in my makeshift dressing room, I walked down to the hall.
てめえがこんな薄情なやつだとは思わなかった。
Don't lecture me about heartless, you little demon spawn. Revenge isn't a good thing. Yaeshi looked like he wanted to spit on the floor. If it's a girl you want, I can always introduce you to another one.
やだ、年上で大卒で年収1000万じゃないとやだ。
Greedy one, aren't you? Maybe you should consider lowering your standards a little. You might find a bigger pool of nicer girls that way. Nicer than you will ever deserve. Oh, please. It's utterly impossible. No, it wouldn't be that impossible. The only problem would be that I'd have to use my other non-student persona to introduce him to such a woman.
つまんねえからゲーセン行こうぜ。
There's an idea. Hook him up with a Yakuza princess. See how long he lasts. Especially after the breakup. About that.
なんだよ。どうせお前は授業終わったらセントラル街でナンパに明け暮れてるんだろ。
Not this time. I promise I meet up with Tsubaki.
はあ？んな約束、お前のいつもの忘れっぽいキャラですっぽかせや。
Yeah, you see the problem with that, Ichi, is that unlike our protag here, I am a man of honor. And so long as I have the ability to guide this man's feet and his words, I will make him do and go exactly where I want him to and honor his obligations. So, unless the writers decide to say, fuck me, the player, fuck off, Eiichi. I'm going to make this young man a true man by the time I'm done with this LP. Or so help me. We're going to buy CDs together. We were together yesterday too, you know. This could be the start of a brand new love. That'll last for what? 4 weeks at the most? Right, Mr. Playboy?
頭がピンクのやつはこれだから困るぜ。
Come on, a promise is a promise.
たく、お前はチャラ男くんのくせして妙に義理がたいっていうか、友情に熱いっていうか、主人公属性つけてっから腹立つんだよな。
Joke's on you, I am the MC around here. And I'm the PC that controls the MC. That's actually rather satisfying. See you tomorrow. It seems that the school's opinion of me meets my expectations.
俺も帰ってウサギに慰めてもらおうっと。
Mr. Bunny of Aichi or Miss, I don't know what gender you are. If you need good old PC intervention, blink twice. If I maintain this lie, others will begin to see it as the truth. Well, that was fun, but I guess now maybe I need to make a quick stop to Yakdonald's and then go and meet up with Tsubaki. When I came upon Central Boulevard, the streets were already illuminated by the endless rows of neon lights. It would appear that I'm a bit late. Pushing back the suffocating crowd, I walked toward the cafe Lapis Lazuli.
いらっしゃいませ。1名様ですか？
The waiter greeted me with a single finger raised. I'm not good enough for two? No, someone's waiting for me. As I glanced around the cafe, I realized that I couldn't find Tsubaki. Spoke too soon. Excuse me, did a girl wearing the Gyugia Saki's uniform stop by? The waiter tilted his head a bit. She carries a diary around everywhere.
ああ、はいはい。いらっしゃってましたよ。
Did she already leave?
男性の方と一緒に見えられて、ついさっきまた一緒に店を出て行かれましたよ。
An acquaintance perhaps? What? Tell me. What was the man like?
女の子にしきりに話しかけてましたね。色黒で体が大きくてジャケットを羽織ってましたよ。
Very big and very tall. Immediately rules out Aichi. Yep, a con artist. He probably saw Tsubaki as an easy target. Generally, con artists won't immediately bring their prey into their office. Instead, they'll talk with girls in some place with a nice atmosphere, like this cafe, trying to measure them up. Jesus, that naive girl. At the best, he wants her to work at his hostess bar. At worst, he'll want her in the porno. Even though I had just arrived, I immediately left. Couldn't you have at least asked this man, hey, which direction did they head? There are 4 operational talent agencies of varying sizes along Central Boulevard. And again, considering you work in the criminal underworld, I guess you would know about this sort of thing, wouldn't you? All of them are under the protection of Azai Gonzo's organization. Of course, they all know what the Azai Corporation is. Even though I didn't want to resort to this, I really have no choice. I dialed on my cell. This is a call from the Azai Corporation. Has your agency been in contact with a girl named Tsubaki in the past few hours? She'd be wearing a Gyuga Saki uniform. An hour passed.
Azai-kun!
I saved you from possibly getting roped into a porno. You better thank me. Tsubaki walked down the stairs of the building. I finally found you. It's nearly impossible when you don't carry a cell. Despite being picked up by a con artist, she doesn't seem to be in any bad shape. What happened? I pretend not to know anything.
なんだかね、写真を撮らせてほしいって頼まれてたの。ファッション雑誌のカメラマンの人に声をかけられてね。
Wow, not bad. You are pretty cute.
そんなことないよ。ありがとね。
Oh, come on. Yes, you are. That smile almost ended up in a dirty magazine. But you promised you'd meet me at the coffee shop. You shouldn't just go off with strangers.
ごめん。それは本当にごめんね。でも、その人すっごく熱心にお話ししてて、断るのもかわいそうで、浅井くんに連絡して相談しようと思ってたんだよ。
You sure you don't want me to just buy you a cell phone?
でも、セントラル街って公衆電話が全然ないんだね。
Seriously? This girl has absolutely no sense of danger or suspicion. So, what about the photographs?
一枚も。なんだか急に帰っていいって言われて、丁寧に出口まで見送ってもらったよ。
In other words, I managed to get in contact with him just in the nick of time. Of course, that bastard would be respectful after hearing the Azai family name.
私、審査落ちしちゃったみたいだね。
At that, I could only crack a wry smile. Forget about it. It's no big deal. Let's go get that box CD.
ごめんね、待たせちゃって。
After we bought everything, we casually strolled along the streets.
浅井くん、どうして2枚も同じ CD 買ったの？
One for home and one for the office. You don't know?
なんだかわからないけど。
You're that or you really want to financially support the publishers or something, I don't know. I explained as I looked at the 2 CDs. The first is for my collection. I'm never going to open it. Room decoration only. Oh, okay. I used to do the same thing.
へえ、本当に好きなんだね。私、バッハは G-senjouのアリアとトッカータとフーガくらいしかわからないよ。
Well, those are some of his most famous pieces. The CD is centered around, how do you say that word? Chikone?
シャコンの
Okay, so I guess I got it right. To be specific, it's the partita number 2 in D minor. It's played exclusively by violins, so it's very hard to put together.
パルティータ
There are many versions of this Chacone. The most famous is probably the one by Busoni, but personally, I'm not too hot on that one.
ブゾーニ
Although, while Bach's polyphonic compositions are excellent, of course, I do think that some of his works that hold back a bit or rein in their complexity and difficulty, pieces much like Air and Fugue, that allow the audience to enjoy the beauty of their melodies, have a charm of their own.
あ、うんうん
Yeah, you don't get him. Poor girl. Although to be fair, I don't completely get him either. So I'm right there with you. Kind of. The French suites are an astounding example of this. If we want to talk performers, Leonhardt plays the best harpsichord on those pieces, but you have to give me a little more time to think when it comes to the piano.
へえ、そうなんだ
Even though I said this much, please don't think of me as a die-hard fan. I still don't really understand the appeal of his church cantatas, for example.
浅井くんってちょっとマニアックなところあるんだな
Maybe you should consider asking him.
今日もありがとうね可愛い日記も書いたし楽しかったよ
How much money do you think you've spent on diaries your whole life? Just out of interest. In the end, what sets Bach apart from the rest is he's still on about it?
まだ続くんだ
We arrived at the station before we knew it. Oh, crap. I promised Kanan that I'd come watch her this evening. Then get going! Skipping out twice in a row would drive her nuts.
そうなんだごめんね遅くまで付き合わせて
Don't worry about it. Just a second, I need to take this.
あ、鳴ってるねかのんちゃんかな
Oni-chan, where are you? I grabbed my phone. Hey. Oh, Miki-chan, what's up? Oh? Yeah, right. Really? Well, let's grab some dinner next time, okay? Yes, yes. See ya. It was nothing important. Maybe to you, perhaps, but what about the other party? Sorry, Sabaki, I have to go now.
浅井くん浅井くん
Sabaki was forcing her lips shut, swallowing her tension. What? Yeah?
CD 貸してくれると嬉しいな
You want to learn his music tastes too, a bit more, huh? Sure, no problem. I'll give it to you a couple days from now after I finish listening to it. Was that really it?
じゃあまた明日学園でね
It seems that she's still hiding something. Oh well, who cares? You really are an unobservant fellow, aren't you? This isn't exactly the first time that she's shown a vested interest in you and your hobbies and your life, you know. Maybe if you put two and two together, you'd notice a common pattern showing up. Although you haven't really given me much reason to hope to display much hope for your observational skills, so maybe she'll just flat out spell it out for you later on, once you piss her off or something. After saying goodbye, I left for the skating rink. Not sure I've heard this piece before. What's currently playing? It was 2 stations from Central Boulevard by train. The skating arena is a complex building smack dab in the middle of the Central District. It has regular ice rinks as well as special ones for ice hockey and figure skating. It's even kept open year-round. With the high amount of media attention Kanan has been receiving recently, it's not surprising that Tomanbetsu City is going all out with its sport facilities. It was 6:30 already. It's almost time to clear out the regular customers and make the complex into a facility solely dedicated to reserve practice time. I got in after explaining to security that I was a relative of Kanan. Of course, joining these athletes on the ice during their rigorous training is strictly forbidden. I sat in the stands and silently observed the practice. A happy, carefree voice came from the direction of the rink. I couldn't see her coach anywhere, so it was probably break time. Kanan gracefully glided around a track, not even wearing a coat. Hey, what are you playing? Compulsory Figures is an event where an athlete has to etch a pattern into the ice. Although, since it was unsuitable for TV broadcast, the event has been excluded from most competitions. Kanan was on one leg, going in a circle. Occasionally she would change the direction of the curve, slowly tracing out a symbol on the ice. Due to its slow nature, it doesn't look all that fancy. I'm getting bored here, but for Kanan, it's an important test of her skills. To keep on practicing even during break. Impressive. Kanan faced me while skating backwards. The skates traced out 2 parallel curves with complete ease. Wow. Have you gotten better or something? I gave her an obligatory compliment. Pivoting off that motion, she began to spin. But it would appear that she didn't generate enough momentum, and she suddenly stopped shortly thereafter. Wow. That looked really good or something. Or something? Boy! Child!
Well,
I'm not a judge or anything, so I don't really know. Could you at least pretend to display a little more enthusiasm? Still, it seems like you've lost some weight. Height, 5'3", body shape, well proportioned. However, it was her long limbs that really gave her the edge in figure skating. When she tried executing a second jump, she lost her balance. Hey now, don't get too cocky and injure yourself. She chatted as she came over to the seats. Aren't you cold? That thing you're wearing, is that your competition costume? Is it okay to be wearing that right now? In a month and a half, Kanan will be entering a competition as used to select Olympic participants. Charmed. She held out her arms and hugged me tightly. Hey, watch it. Look at your feet. Those razor-sharp blades almost cut my toes off. This girl has a weird sense of humor. Yeah, Where's Mama?
コーチは今会議してるって。
She's really busy, huh? I wanted to say hi at least.
なんだかね、のんちゃんカナダに行ってたでしょ。外国での練習が終わって、今後どういう風にのんちゃんを伸ばすのかっていう話し合いしてるみたい。
What direction did you want to go in?
知らない。でも絶対オリンピック行くよ。
She's a simple one, isn't she?
ねえねえ、のんちゃんの人気者計画聞いてよ。
Plan?
もっともっと有名になって、もっとたくさんの人にのんちゃんのこと見てもらうんだ。
Great. What comes next?
終わりだけど。
It's a vague plan, but that's so like you. I'm sure you'll be fine. Kanan returned to the skating rink once again, smiling all the while.
さてさて、じゃあ兄さんにも4回転ジャンプを見せてやろうじゃないか。
Oh, you mean the loop? Quad jump refers to the quadruple Lutz, an extremely difficult jump that has never been successfully performed in any public women's competition around the world. Never? Interesting. The jumping itself is easy. Landing the damn thing is the hard part.
今まで全部転んじゃってるんだけど、兄さんの前ならきっとできる。
Hey, don't try it if you can't do it. It hurts when you fall, doesn't it?
だって成功したらもっと人気者になれるよ。
Yeah, but I mean, if you end up injuring yourself, possibly irreversibly in the process, I wouldn't really say that's worth it. That only works if you succeed.
みんな新しい技が大好きなんだよ。だから頑張ってぜ。
Kanan started skating again, full of momentum.
兄さん、行くよ。
Ignore it, man. Wait, I'm getting a call. It's probably Miki-chan again. Jeez, there's no limit how much you can disrupt my... There is a limit how much you can disrupt my life, you know. Hello? However, when I heard the voice coming through the receiver, I couldn't help but hold my breath.
兄さんまだ。
Kanan was nowhere near my radar.
やっちゃうぞ。ジャンプしちゃうぞ。
After the call disconnected, I said one thing to her. Sorry, something came up.
ちょっと。
Kanan stomped her feet, and the sound of crushed ice reached my ears. My mindset had already changed. My carefree time in the surface world was already over. Because that call was from Azai Gonzo, summoning to his quarters. Go figure. The city's southern district is very quiet. It's a tranquil, high-class district with newly built homes lined up one after the other. Each of the many mansions is so spacious and luxurious that it creates the illusion that one isn't even in Japan anymore. The pedestrian count is remarkably low, and I only occasionally pass by a cop patrolling on a bicycle. The luxurious doors all bear the metal plates of various protection agencies, sparing not even the space for an insect to pass through. It's an area that suitably demonstrates the power of the people who live here and control this city. After around an hour, I arrived at Gonzo's estate. No matter how often I come here, I still get nervous. When I pressed the doorbell, a maid quickly answered. It's Kyosuke. Is my father in the house? After a few more minutes, I was allowed through the gate. 2 expensive black cars were parked on the grounds. I looked at the pond as I walked through the hall. On the way, I met a few of Gonzo's subordinates and greeted them. Gonzo was having a guest dinner with a guest right now. I was commanded to join them for a drink. I can only follow instructions. I finally arrived at the door of the guest room. Light leaked out from beyond the sliding door. I didn't hear a conversation. Instead, I only heard the sound of alcohol rapidly flowing through someone's throat. Without a doubt, that man awaited me on the other side. Pardon the interruption, sir. It's Kyosuke. After a short while, Azai Gonzo released a deep sigh that resembled the braying of an animal. May I join you? I heard that there was a guest, but I couldn't sense anyone else in there.
入れ。
I immediately sensed something abnormal.
よく来たな。
So you're Azai Gonzo, huh? A series of extravagant dishes have been strewn about the tatami mats. It's been a long time. I sincerely apologize. Whose hand is that on the table right there, if you don't mind my asking? In this traditional room, a man who appeared to be a guest lay before me. He was bleeding from the forehead and was lying down flat on the table. I gazed at the man, unsure whether he was dead or alive, and put on a mask of indifference.
調子はどうだ?
There are no problems worth mentioning. No problems at all. Before my father, before Azai Gonzo, I'm used to the sight of blood. On the corner of the table lay a crumpled business card. Mayu Station, First Planning Department, Executive Producer. Bigwig, huh? I think I've heard his name before. Every Monday at prime time, he airs popular drama shows with over 20% viewer rates. This guy is pretty famous. Both his personal and work lives are riddled with impressive exploits, and there is no person in the entertainment world who wouldn't wag his or her tail for him.
どうした? 気になるのか?
Should it not? No. If he gave out his card, that means this is the first time they've met.
こいつは調子に乗りすぎた。
You haven't changed, father. Kanan is famous as a beautiful figure skater. She's even been in a few commercials. If Gonzo called this man arrogant, then it's probably not his personality. It's likely because of some problem with a contract. At any rate, my father just submerged someone into the sea of violence upon their first meeting. Someone of rather prominent stature, no less. When I was younger, I always wondered why he could bend the rules like that. It seems like the man is still alive.
私こんなことをして許されると思ってるのか?
Going by his facial expression, yes, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he's thinking. Gonzo glanced at the man as he picked up a piece of sashimi unrivaled in taste.
弁護士に警察に突き出してお前みたいなこと社会的に悪だぞ。
Gonzo laughed gleefully.
20歳になる娘がいるんだろう。
Gonzo took another swallow of delicious sake. I can understand what Gonzo was thinking. It's too late now. To those who have never experienced true danger, threatening to call their lawyers or the police at the first sign of hostility seems completely logical. Only, it's too late. The police won't move until something has happened, and a lawyer can't be by one side 24/7.
娘がソープに沈められてから、うちのどうでもいいような若いのが懲役食らったとして、お前は満足なのか？
This isn't a dry threat. Multitudes of delinquents under Azai Gonzo's control are just licking their lips, desperately waiting to receive any order. Beasts who would take pride in their time spent in custody. They're illogical creatures, men who won't even analyze the immediate future. They merely follow orders down to the letter.
まあ、座って刺身でも食っていけ。
Quite the character, aren't you? Blood is splashed here and there across the food. The blowfish looks particularly delicious. Thank you, sir. The man's breath was as feeble as an insect's, yet I picked up my chopsticks.
飲むか？
No, alcohol's a bit.
九州の焼酎でな、なかなかいける。
Really? You know, if this man is your father, I think I'm starting to understand a lot about where your conqueror mindset came from. This guy is on his last leg. Nevertheless, the two of us neglect him and enjoy our food. This is the relationship between Azai Gonzu and Azai Kyosuke. Well then, what's the day's command? I timidly cut to the chase. Gonzu tilted his head.
メスの匂いがするな。
Pardon? What's he talking about? He's probably talking about Tsubaki.
女でも作ったか？
No. Paying no mind to my refusal, he glared at me, emitting an unspoken, suffocating pressure. I swallowed. I was fooling around with her classmate, Miwa Tsubaki, for a couple of days. That was it, really. She has no money, so I have no real interest in her. Gonzu stared at me once again. He's almost 6.5 feet tall. The giant excreted intimidation from his every pore. Is there something amiss?
その女ではないな。
Then who? A woman I've been around, but not Tsubaki? Well, the only other two people I can think of is Kanan or Usami. I don't see why you would object to me being around Kanan, so... You're referring to Usami, I take it?
カノンにあった。
Yes, she told me. Gonzo took a furious swig of the liquor.
カノンは幾子と違って威勢がいいな。
Ikuko is Kanan's mother. I call her Mama when I'm at school or speaking with Kanan. She's a figure skating coach. Also, she was Gonzu's lover long ago. What did you see in this man? Just out of interest? In other words, even though Kanan was his only daughter, she was still merely the child of a mistress. Gonzu's real-life wife died a while ago. I never met her. Kanan doesn't know about this, and obviously Gonzo and Ikudo live separately. Kanan's personality is much more similar to yours than her mother's. How so? Stubborn and arbitrary.
あれは金になる娘だ。
Yes. She's a candidate for the Olympics. Publishers and production companies are constantly knocking at the door. If she does manage to get in, foreign media will undoubtedly be interested in coverage. Her future is looking bright. As a front organization, we at the Azai Corporation should consider using her as a powerful PR tool to help improve our image. Gonzo gave a satisfied nod at my suggestion.
カノンのことだが、
Gonzo opened up his hairy fist. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became unpleasant.
いいか、京介。
When he called my name, my anxiety peaked.
犯しておけ。
Excuse me? In an instant, the strong man in front of me turned into a detestable monster.
メスを従順にさせるには食うのが一番だ。
How can such a father even exist? If she's illegitimate, Kanan is... Even if she's illegitimate, Kanan is still his flesh and blood. To have his foster son engage in such intimacies, one must question the man's sanity.
カノンにはもっと稼いでもらわねばならん。オスはまだ利害で動く頭を持っているが、メスは違う。わかるか？
I gave an ambiguous nod.
やり口は何でもいい。恋愛をしているふりをしてもいいし、将来的に席を作ってもいい。重要なのは肉体関係を持つことだ。メスはそういうことにこだわり、縛られる生き物だ。
I understand. I'll see to it, sooner or later. My head is numb. And I am before this monster. All regular thoughts cease. I can understand why, Jesus.
それから、
Gonzo lowered his voice a notch.
坊やとかいうガキの集団を知ってるか？
No? Yes, they're an event circle which has gained a bit of power on Central Boulevard. An event circle is an organization that helps gather customers for clubs when special events are held. They're just a group of party-loving thugs, but their outward appearance is pleasing. And they can dance and DJ. Compared to some talentless performers, they're actually quite good at gathering customers. Do you intend on doing business with them? After these organizations expand to a certain point, Yakuza usually come in to help clean up the mess. In exchange for a protection fee, the Yakuza will then help them out when they run into any sort of trouble. However, Gonzo wrinkled his brow at my supposition.
連中は覚醒剤を回してる。
No way. My back erupted into a cold sweat. Such a small organization actually dared to sell cocaine? Unforgivable. Of course, the reason that's unforgivable isn't because it's against the law. All the cocaine circulating in the city is under the control of the Sonoyama group. Azai Gonzo happens to be the leader of said group, the fourth in its history. You basically want to get rid of competition. I only know what I have to, so I have no idea where they get the cocaine from. But the important thing is that those amateurs went ahead and stepped into our territory.
しかも、どうやらうちが回しているものより質がいいらしい。
Maybe we should up the quality. Maybe you should consider upping the quality of yours and convince their customers to come to you instead. So that way, no one's kneecaps have to be broken and then some, and everybody can live happily ever after. Except, you know, the people on the cocaine. That's very strange.
今人をやって坊やの幹部を捕まえに行かせているところだ。
With his mobility, power, and extensive network of information, tracking down a little brat or two would take little to no effort. I understand. I might not be needed in this case, but I'll search amongst the shadows. I lowered my head deeply.
頼んだぞ、息子よ。
Yes. After all, I owe my current lifestyle to you, Father. If working with this man, if working with a man like this here is basically the price you have to pay to have such a lavish lifestyle, then personally, I think you need to reevaluate your life's choices. I drank with Gonzu until late into the night. I have no idea what happened to that unfortunate producer. Lord. I attended school every day this week, so I felt pretty good. For me, school is a free place, completely devoid of pressure.
Oh, Kyosuke!
Not to mention the countless friends I have.
昨日の件考えてくれたか?
What about yesterday?
てめえざけんな。おめえの不詳の妹のことだろうが。
He's still moping over that matter. Eiichi, try to be more mature. There'll always be more women.
うるせえ。のりこ先生からメールが来たんだよ。やっぱり栄一くんとは付き合えないってな。
Well, I'm glad to see that she has at least some morals. But wouldn't you say that a woman who turns you down for such a little thing as what happened yesterday isn't the woman you're looking for?
くそー。それもこれも全部カノンのせいだ。
Eiichi tightened his small fists to show his indignation.
のんちゃんがどうかした？
Hello, Kanon.
げっ。
えいちゃん、何がのんちゃんのせいなの？
You should keep that facial expression on you permanently, Eiichi. Being a puppet suits you.
なんでもないよ。いや、カノンちゃんはいつも元気がいいね。僕にも元気を分けてほしいな。
He released his clenched hands. Kanon, do you have gym class today?
すごい楽しみ。明日はクラス対抗でバレーボールの試合するから、朝はみんなで集まって練習するんだ。
Kanon lowered the bag that I gave her as a present. Inside the bag lies a gym uniform.
じゃあねー。
She lightly stepped away.
くそー、気に入らねえわ。あの頭の悪そうな笑顔が一層気に入らないぜ。
Better than your fake one. You aren't exactly the brightest kid yourself. While carrying on for our meaningless conversation, we entered the school. I arrived quite early today, so there weren't many people in the corridor. Downstairs, a girl approached us with inhumanly heavy steps.
ああ、どうも。
How did I know it'd be you? Anyway, morning. Yo, you're pretty early.
そうっすかね。
Our eyes never met.
宇佐美さん、宇佐美さん。
はい。
今日は僕も友達にしてくれるんだよね。一日二人までとか言ってたよね。
I'm going to wager a guess and say that she's going to deny you today too. Or probably say something to the effect of, I already made two more friends today. You know, like an off-screen event sort of thing. So, basically, better luck next time.
いや、一つのコミュニティに2人までなんで、学園じゃ椿とカノンでもうギリギリ限界なんで。
Now, Kanon. Kanon. Usami. That isn't what you said yesterday.
ひどいよ。すんません。意地悪してるわけじゃないんすけど、自分そういう戒めとか多いんで。勇者ですし。まともに口を聞いてくれるだけでもいいんだけど。
I'll see you in class. I find it hard to interact with this Usami Haru. Usami stared at me with discerning eyes. Such a strange girl. My entrance to the classroom brought with it a surprise. The person who had been missing for a few days stood right beside the window. Hey, good morning. I spoke in a friendly tone. You're quite early too, Shiratori-san. So you're Shiratori. Shiratori showed no interest in anyone within the classroom and continued to water the flowers quietly. You're so responsible. You come here early every morning just to water the flowers, don't you? My interaction with Shiratori Mizuha is not without purpose. Come to think of it, I haven't seen you for quite a while, huh? I can't really blame you since you skip every now and then. I skip every now and then myself. But what made you take a few days off? I hope you didn't catch a cold. Shiratori is the daughter of the school's director. This director is also the chairman of a contracting company. And that company is a subsidiary of the Sanu Corporation, one of Japan's most prominent and well-established corporations. The Sanu Corporation, which manufactures everything from pens to rockets, has its headquarters here in Tomanbetsu City. Thus, the variety of businesses it develops here are a huge influence on the region's economy. Their influence permeates the city so thoroughly that it's practically omnipresent, just like that of the Soa Alliance. Which means if I wanted to operate some financial mechanisms here, keeping a good relationship with Shiratori Mizuha wouldn't hurt one bit. I put on my fake smile, like usual. Hey, Shiratori-san. Can I have your number? Maybe we could hang out sometime. Shiratori's hands and the watering can they held suddenly halted.
Azai-kun? Azai-kun wa ohana ga suki?
Well, I don't really have much of an opinion. I can enjoy the look of a nice garden, but I'm no enthusiast.
好きなものは何?
Girls. I made sure to remember my smile as I spouted that line. Just kidding. Classical music. I actually bought a CD just yesterday.
クラシックね。それだけ?
Huh? As far as my interests go? The only thing I've got left is going to arcades.
お金は好き?
Well, I work with it on the side. Although by only the slightest bit, Shiratori's tone changed. Money, you say? I'm sort of rich and all, so I never really thought about it. I smiled as I scratched the back of my head, but then Mizuha suddenly said,
残念.
as if striking waves on calm waters.
嫌いと答えたら、あなたを責めるつもりだったのに。
Huh? What's up with this woman? What are you talking about? Well then, Shiratori-san, do you like money? Shiratori didn't answer me.
私はあなたを知っているわ。
What about me?
ずいぶんと高そうな車に乗っているのね。
True, I had an imported deluxe limbo. I told you I was rich. My dad gave it to me. But why did she know?
随分と人相の悪そうな人たちを連れ回しているのね。
Did you see me on the streets? Nobody from the school should know about the Azai Corporation. I've always been careful about how I go about doing things.
あなたは自分の倍くらいの年齢の人たちを顎で使っていたわ。
Where did you see that?
南区の住宅街。あなたのお父さんの屋敷の近くに私の家もあるの。
You want my advice? Keep your nose out of this kid's affairs. Because this guy's father is honestly kind of frightening. So that's why. It's useless to play dumb now. After all, Shiratori is the director's daughter. She could have investigated any student's background easily if she wanted to. So what? I smiled thinly. Even knowing that I manage huge capital in the Azai Corporation, what are you going to do?
それがあなたの本性。
Say what you want.
どうしてあなたは学園ではひょうきんな仮面をかぶっているの？
Nobody's going to confess his sins unless he's forced to. Isn't that right?
悪いことをしている自覚はあるのね。
I was just using it as an example. If I were you, I'd stop trying to nitpick and find faults in little things like that. It makes you look bad.
アザイ君って本当は随分と頭が回るのね。勝てそうにないわ。
Once again, I don't think that this is a fight that you should try picking. Shiratori remains emotionless. This is a little troublesome. The reason I spend my precious time in school is not only to reduce my stress, but also to hide my identity from certain corners of the underworld. Practically all business is dealt with either by phone or by email. I don't even meet people face to face when the deals go down. In trades like mine, your life's at risk once you're exposed. Besides Gonzu, only a few administrators from the group know my identity. Thus, keeping Shiratori's mouth shut is essential. May I ask you to keep this a secret? Please. Shiratori didn't reply. For the love of God, just say yes. You're making me worried about your personal safety. I understand. How much do you want? Shiratori revealed her emotions for the first time.
私はあなたが嫌い。
Wait, don't run. I grabbed Shiratori's hand. How's 1 million sound?
本気で言っているの？
Money's the only way to gain trust.
かわいそうな人ね。
Your sympathy isn't what I need. Just allow me to feel safe. I stepped forward. Shiratori's beautiful lips began to quiver.
みんな見てるわよ。
I'll just say I was hitting on you.
バカなことを。
Everybody in the class thinks I'm nothing but a playboy. Because I intentionally projected that aura. What about you? You barely ever show up to class. Do you even have any friends? Who do you think is going to side with you? The corners of Shiratori's quivering lips turned down. Let's just try to get along, shall we?
もう離れて。
The class bell rang. I hope we can have a more pleasant chat next time, don't you? This time, Shiratori freed herself from my grasp. She was trying to act tough, but in the end, she's still a teenage girl. Now, let's enjoy school. So, looks like Shiratori is going to be a, at least I'm guessing this anyway, a potentially recurring thorn in our side when it comes to maintaining the facade we're trying to keep up here at school. Kind of worried that if she sticks her nose too deeply into my affairs, it's going to come crumbling down not just for her, but our protag as well. And possibly for Tsubaki and everyone else associated with him. This could get dangerous. Especially now that I know what kind of a bastard that our protag's father is. Things are certainly getting interesting now. If only because I'm getting legitimately worried for the safety of some of these kids. Anywho, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end things here. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of The Devil on G-String. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.